Would you want to belong to an organization if one of the leaders had this super hip haircut? Do you pick the organizations that you go to by if the people talk the right way, whatever that is? I'm a Californian. I've lived in North and South Carolina. I've lived in Australia. I live now in Texas. And East Texans, they don't talk how Californians do. And East Texans don't talk the way Australians do. So what do we use as our barometer, our measurement to judge how valuable someone is? I was cutting my hair and I walked out and my wife was like, I I don't associate with you right now. And I took a video for church and it's there was some humor in it, and it was I am hoping that people will laugh, and it's during a time where the news isn't quite great, and so hopefully it creates just like what, and maybe just some laughter. It's one of those effects, right? And yet there are people living today that talk a certain way, dress a certain way, walk a certain way, that have no choice. They don't have the money to fix it. They don't have the ability to just go and change. It's not necessarily who they are, but it's their appearance. They can't change it. I mean, did you notice how big my eyes were before? You notice how big my eyes are now? I worked in the Navy. I was a chaplain assistant, and people would be like, "My goodness, your prescription is so strong," and they'd be like, they put my glasses on and be like, "Man, my eyes look so much bigger right now, right?" And I was like, "Well, actually, it's perfect because now I can see into your soul," and we all got a good laugh at it. I've been wearing glasses for as long as I can remember, and obviously they make my eyes look as big as my nose, and is that how we pick the organizations that we associate with? By how cool they are, how popular they are, or how kind they are, how good they try to be in this world, and how maybe uplifting they're. What are they willing to do to help others? I've been, all over this world, and I have always been impressed by people who are willing to help, to serve, to reach out when it's not necessarily popular, when it's not necessarily the right thing to do, when it's not necessarily to those cool people. Whoever those cool people are. And for Christians, for followers of Jesus Christ, we're kind of encouraged, we're asked actually, hey, can you help the downtrodden? What does that mean, downtrodden? It literally means people stepped on them. So they're not going to look the best. Their clothes might be a little dirty. They might have worn expressions, and they might not be the popular ones, or they might be the popular ones that are no longer popular. The world is a cruel place. Survival of the fittest, right? Dog eats dog. But Jesus Christ showed us the example where he was willing to hang out with the despised, to touch and hug, women in a time where, I don't know if you know this, but the Greeks believed and the Romans believed that the best, highest form of humanity was men. So if you notice in paintings, The guys' bodies and the girls' bodies look exactly the same. The guys and the gals, the boys and the girls, the men and the women, they look exactly the same. Is because what they do is they would paint a guy's body and then add feminine features, because that was the perfect human, was a man. Jesus Christ didn't think that way. They didn't have to be a certain height or a certain weight. Sometimes maybe their hair wasn't quite right. I'll get this haircut fixed. I'm definitely not gonna walk around with it. Doesn't mean we have to, I don't know, try to look awkward, but sometimes we just are. And so, do we judge by appearances or by the heart? And do we love? Well, it's not bad to love by appearance, but do we only love by appearance, or do we love by something more? Are we willing to look farther than skin deep? Which goes into like racism, sexism, all kinds of ageism, the isms that so plague our world. Are we willing to look deeper? Jesus Christ asked us to. He showed us what a world could be like just for a moment if we would look at someone's soul. I can't look at anybody's soul with these glasses. But in my walk, trying to follow Jesus Christ as a broken human being, I have certainly seen beautiful people. And maybe they weren't necessarily beautiful on the outside. But my goodness, they lifted my soul. And God loved them dearly. So with that, this is Pastor Tim. This is a ministry of A. Frank Smith and Cold Springs United Methodist Churches here in Alto. If you need a church home, we're open to you, no matter where you are. No matter where you find yourself to be. You can always call, stop by. You'll have friends here. See you around.